Hey everyone, today for our Devo thought, we're going to be looking at a chunk of scripture from Isaiah chapter 44. We're going to be looking at verse 9 through verse 20, so if you want to flip over there, that's where we're going to be. I'm going to start reading here in verse 9. We'll just jump right in. All who fashion idols are nothing, and the things that they delight in do not profit. Their witnesses neither see nor know that they may be put to shame. Who fashions a god, or casts an idol that's profitable for nothing? Behold, all his companions will be put to shame. And the craftsmen are only human. Let them all assemble, let them stand forth. They shall be terrified, and they shall be put to shame together. The ironsmith takes a cutting tool, and works it over the coals. He fashions it with hammers, and works it with a strong arm. He becomes hungry, and his strength fails. He drinks no water, and is faint. The carpenter stretches a line. He marks it out with a pencil, shapes it with his planes, and marks it with a compass. He shapes it into the figure of a man, with the beauty of a man, to be put in a house. He cuts down cedars, or he chooses a cypress tree, or an oak, and lets it grow strong among the trees of the forest. He plants a cedar and lets the rain nourish it, and then it becomes fuel for the man. He takes a part of it, and with it he warms himself. He kindles a fire, and he bakes bread. He also makes a god, and worships it. And he makes it an idol and falls down before it. Half of it he burns over the fire, and over half of it he eats meat. He roasts it and is satisfied. He also warms himself and says, I'm warm, I've seen the fire. And the rest he makes into a god, his idol. He falls down to it, worships it, and he prays to it, saying, Deliver me, for you are my God. They know not, nor do they discern. For he has shut their eyes so that they cannot see, and their hearts so they don't understand. No one considers, nor is there knowledge or discernment to say, Half of it I burned in the fire. I also baked bread over its coals. I roasted meat and have eaten, and I shall make the rest of it an abomination. I shall fall before a block of wood. He feeds on ashes. A deluded heart has led him astray. He cannot deliver himself, or even say to himself, Here in my right hand I hold a lie. This is an interesting passage here. It talks about kind of the idea and the absurdity behind idols. And I love the way that Isaiah starts this passage, these first few verses, especially verse 11. Let them all assemble, let them stand forth, let them be terrified and be put to shame. Saying, okay, all you people who have idols, come over here, I'm about to embarrass you, let's talk about it. And then he goes into it, talks about how an ironsmith goes through and he makes this thing with his own strength. He forms an idol, but eventually he gets tired and has to take a break. And then comes back and works on it again. And how a carpenter could take any piece of wood that he chooses. And he is careful with something and carves it. He makes something even beautiful and puts it in the house and worships it. But the weird thing is, the other half of that tree, that is now the form of some sort of god or goddess, he used to burn, and he cooked food over it, and he made himself a fire, made himself warm. And Isaiah is bringing to light this weird contradiction, this weird paradox, that half of this wood you're using just to burn and throw away, but the other half you deem worthy of worship? It's kind of weird. He says that they don't understand. Half of it they're throwing away, and how come half of it is now deified? What's going on? There's some sort of disconnect here. And I think Isaiah's message here probably hit some people fairly close to home. Some of them probably didn't listen. But for us, our idols look a little different, right? We have idols that typically aren't made of wood or metal here in modern day America. There are some exceptions, but for the most part, we have other types of idols. For instance, money is a popular one. I feel like if Isaiah were to write this today, he would say something along the lines of, Do you not understand that half of this paper you use to wipe your butt? And the other half you're worshiping and chasing after and spending all your time trying to attain. What's going on? There's a disconnect, right? A lot of time we put all this effort into certain things, and if you really step back and take a look at your idols, it's kind of absurd how you treat them. Isaiah is trying to call us to really look at that absurdity. And this is my challenge for you today. I want you to take a moment, and I want you to look at the different things that you really focus on, that you put all your effort into, that you worship in some way or another, and really examine it. take a moment, see how you use your time for it, see how that thing even came to be, and just watch as all the paradoxes start to pop up before you. Because that's the kind of thing that happens when you worship a piece of wood, or you worship money, or you worship some act or power or whatever. And whenever you worship something that isn't worthy of worship, the paradoxes and the absurdities just continue to come up over and over again. So today I want you to reflect on those. We all have them. Even like everybody, the most faithful Christian in the world has these things. But let's take a moment today and look at them for what they really are. And feel free to laugh at yourself. For me, it's fine. So today, as we continue on, that's my challenge. If you want to be notified whenever we put a new video up, you can subscribe to our channel. You can click the bell icon. But until then, we'll see you next time.